So I need to make a video just because I would feel like I was slacking off if I didn't. I smoke, my pipe um, is glass, right? So that there's no metals off gassing like copper and brass are alloyed with things like zinc and tin and other things like bismuth and all of that, and they have low vapor points. Okay, so you're holding your the flame on the bowl and trying to light your cannabis, and my cannabis was hard to light, right? Because I smoke hashish with my cannabis. This is a mixture of the two, and so I have to, like torch the sucker to make it work. Um, and I smoke these glass pipes. They don't off gas, and they're cool to hold. Like I can hold this. They come like with a little hole on the side usually, right? Like they call it a carburetor. And I guess high school kids or something like make it you let off on it and suck real hard in case you didn't get high the first time. Well, I don't have that problem. This is one toke psychedelic cannabis oil with one toke guaranteed cannabis buds, and the combination is unbeatable. I think this particular batch this year may be the finest I've ever had. This was a good year for buds. We had a good year, and this is a good harvest, and everybody came through all those damn fires and didn't get burned up. And that's neato, man. And so, here it is. It's harvest season, and what happens is if you just got buds in there, especially right, and this stuff, when it tips over, it doesn't like fall out. But when you just smoke buds, or even just a little bit of oil on your buds, and these pipes are kind of, they got a little flat bottom, but I'm sitting here in my pants and I don't, they tip over. They tip over. And so Pumpkin gets a lot of cannabis because it just falls out of my pipe and then, it gets gungy and stuff, right? And I don't want to smoke it that way. And Pumpkin doesn't mind at all. He likes it any which way he can get it. Pumpkin loves cannabis, and that may be one of the reasons why he adopted me a few years ago. He was the landlady's little dog at a campground, and she was 90 something, 91 at the time. And Mary had this little campground up on the top of the mountain outside of Silver City in Pinos Altos. And she had this little dog who she said belonged to her son, and her son had a little wood shop next door to the campground. And the dog was always out playing with the kids. And, when I first moved in, I'm like laying in bed gasping because I can't breathe at 7,000 feet. And here he comes, boom, one way. Kids running in front. And this orange cat chasing him. Brr, 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 brr. And a couple of minutes later, kids the other way. Boom. Here comes Pumpkin, bum, 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 with Morris right in front of him. Morris is this orange cat that was feral, wild, but they were buddies. And they moved in to my cabin. And the landlady couldn't get him to stay home. So Pumpkin came to live with Joe and me because the landlady said, I can't get him to stay home. I tie him up and he just wants to come to you. And he was my son's dog and he doesn't take care of him, so he's gonna be your dog now. And it was a gift beyond price. Pumpkin is the most wonderful part of my life. He kept me through 3 years of pretty much constant withdrawal. It's been living hell. And his cheery little face coming to share cannabis, and he's real particular. He doesn't like take cannabis that doesn't belong to him. He only takes it after I've smoked it, because he likes to share. And we enjoy it with each other in the morning, coffee and cannabis. And he is, I'm not like sitting here going, oh, here, Pumpkin, here, take this. No, man, he's like lined up and waiting when I wake up in the morning. and he's a willing and knowledgeable participant. He gets a full dose of both cannabis and the poppy seeds that I put in. It's not opium, right? Opium is a single opioid that causes physical dependence. That's what it does. It doesn't cause sleepy, dreamy, lazy Chinese people. I don't think there's any such thing as lazy Chinese people. I have seen absolutely no sign of lazy Chinese people with or without opium, because it's also not the devil. Poppy seeds, right? Poppy seeds are a natural thing. People eat them in the highlands of Southeast Asia because the growing season where they live is too short for rice or wheat. But these poppies will grow in 8 weeks, right? In 8 weeks. And when you live at 3,000 meters, that makes a difference. Your crop cycle is relegated to those 8 weeks that you have sunshine and rain instead of snow, basically speaking. And people need to eat, and so they grow these poppies up there. And I read an article in Science many years ago. 1982, I was at my father's house, and my mom was dying, and so I was sitting in the kitchen eating lunch one day, reading about this study done in Southeast Asia. This is after the Vietnam War. So there was a lot less lead flying in the air and stuff, and people weren't shooting people because they looked different or something. And so they got a chance to go up there and talk to the Montagnards, the guys that live up there in the highlands in Southeast Asia, and they're like these real tough old craggy looking guys, right? All the time. They all look kind of like that. And that's what they do. They grow cannabis, this stuff. Where is it? Here's some, yeah. And they don't actually like rape white women or go nuts or any of that stuff. What they do is they make hashish and they use poppy seeds in their daily diet. Okay, I have combined them here because it's convenient for me, but I also put raw poppy seeds in my hemp seed oil. Okay, and it's raw poppy seeds. We're talking like the stuff that you get on rolls at the bakery, right? Except they're not cooked. And that's about how much I get, maybe with what I use um, in my medicines. Is about a French roll's worth of poppy seeds. And that's all it takes. It only takes a few micrograms to replace the ones that our body uses. They provide not just omega la 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 la, it's the neurotransmitters our body uses to bridge the gap between nerve cells. Nerve cells have a gap between them so that we don't short circuit. And they have to pass a magnetic field, okay? So this one's going up here, up my arm, this one's going up my backbone, and to get from here to here, it has to cross this gap here. And so on this side, there's a cannabinoid cinder. And on this side, there's an opioid receiver, but there's three different kinds. They're called morphinams because they resemble the one morphinam that big pharma medicine gives you, the mu. And they use the mu, which is an M in the Greek, M for morphine. And they're brilliant, these big pharma scientists. And they want to, make sure you know what it is because that stuff's bad. Actually, it's not bad at all. It's food. And our body needs it because they work on the receiving side of the gap between nerve cells. And they've all got gaps between every nerve cell in our body, right? And brain has gaps between themselves and all the others. And I mean, they have like ganglions that stick out of the cell like little arms so that they ride up next to each other, and then they have these bridges across the gap that is mediated by cannabinoids and opioids. And cannabinoids, there's 111 different ones. But back when they first started counting these things, they didn't know that there was 111 of them. They just knew that they were these little short chain hydrocarbons called terpenes. And in the body, there's only a couple of them to start with. The body produces an anion and a cation, and then as they travel through the bloodstream, when they arrive at a place where they're needed, there's enzymes that modify them so they're specific to that particular organ, right, or system in the body. So the skin gets its own, and the brain gets all of them, right? All of them, man. And it's not a whole bunch of different things. It's these cannabinoids that send, right? The cannabinoids send, and there's an anion and a cation. So there's a positive and negative for each system in our body. That's why there's like this kind of odd number, because there's one system that only uses one. And I'm going to guess that it's maybe the thyroid, okay? But that's how your body works. And it doesn't work without them, right? So when we use these, our body works the way it should, right? What it should do is it makes stem cells instead of scar tissue. And that's why that's kind of pink looking there. The pinkness is because it's brand new cells. And if you look, the lines in my fingers are still in there and everything. But this is being replaced on a regular basis because I've got some radiation poisoning going on down there. And at the bottom of that little hole there, there's a little blip of radiation. They embed themselves in the joints, right? They like soft tissue, and they're attracted to the bones, right? They're heavy, and they're hot enough that they burn their way right through your skin down into the bones, and then our body starts trying to surround it with tissues, little tissues that look like leaves maybe sometimes, and they come out from between the cells in your skin. And when you have this radiation thing going on, sometimes they're here in your fingernails, right, along this edge, and they're like little hard things. You know what I mean? And you cut them out, cut them off as you're trimming your fingernails. And I haven't been doing it regularly. Yeah, I've been working. And I've been busy because I've been not sick for a change. I'm not sick anymore. I'm not sick anymore because I quit taking big pharma medicine and I started taking this stuff with poppy seeds. You can take this stuff till you're blue in the face. You can smoke pot till you're blue in the face, man. It won't save your life. It won't make you healthy. My friend Wendell, lifelong cannabis user like myself, just as much as myself, and as enthusiastic about it as myself. And he died of cancer a few years ago. Rest in peace, my brother. My friend Wendell, my best friend. Knew him for about 2 years, and we were tight and gonna change the world together and stuff. And he died. He up and died. And you know, I hate losing friends, man, and everybody kind of is like a friend that I don't know yet. Unless I actually know you. In which case, you're my friend by default, because the only qualification for friend at my house is if your feet reach the ground. Or not. I mean, you know, like I've been in a wheelchair, and that's good enough. Close enough for me. That's what it takes to be my friend. And y'all can take this stuff and your body starts producing stem cells instead of scar tissue. I almost cut the end of this finger off last October 31st, Halloween. There's no scar tissue. I mean, I had literally almost cut. There was a big old slice down here, and it was so bad, I thought, oh man, I can't even look. I'm squeamish. I don't like that kind of shit on anybody, man. I just don't like it. And you can see kind of one of the places, and this is not magic, right? We're not talking magic here. There's some repair work still going on. Those little blips in my skin, those little leaf-shaped thingammies, are bringing stuff out. Because I grabbed this spinning lathe, and I was cutting rocks with AUPT dust in it, and it got ground into my bones and stuff. And there's some radioactive elements in AUPT dust, like PT-190, and so they're working on it still, and they bring it out a little bit at a time, and you know what's going on now is the nerves are growing back, and it feels like kind of tingly as the nerves are growing back. But it's a fully functional finger, and it's going to look exactly like the other fingers, you know. I mean, it's going to look like it always has looked. There's not going to be any scar tissue. Um, you know, the scar tissue doesn't have to happen because our body can produce these stem cells if they have the correct neurotransmitters, and your body knows what's going on, right? If you cut this out, if I said, "Oh, that's cancer," that's what cancer is, right? It's these little radioactive blips that get stuck in our body because our body can't eliminate them, right? And it gets stuck somewhere, like in our kidney or liver or something, in a bit of radioactive salt, right? Calcium salts that build up in your kidneys, or um, scar tissue that builds up in your arteries, walls of your arteries. My brother did his research on that, and he was looking for the magic lipids. This is them. And you have to have the poppy seeds in them. And then your body can regenerate just about anything. I mean, I don't think I want to like cut my finger off to find out, but you know what? My wife broke her toe yesterday. I don't know, maybe this morning. I don't know. She was showing me just a little while ago, and you know, it's not real broken yet, but it's swollen, and it probably gonna kick over to one side, kind of. So we're wrapping it, and we're keeping oil on it. This right here, this stuff, and and just a little bit of this too, clove bud oil. You mix it with this, and and you put it right on where it hurts, right? And it goes right through the skin, and it helps heal everything because your body uses this stuff, the stuff in this hemp seed oil, as food. Um, it's fatty acids and lipids, along with the 111 different cannabinoids our body uses to bridge the gap between nerve cells. And with the poppy seeds, and I grind the poppy seeds up into a flour, right? And you can bake with it. You can make like pita bread with it. It's really good. It's sweet. And it's good with things like curry and stuff like that. And actually, we could feed the entire planet because these plants grow anywhere people live. And you can grow them in your garden, man. You can grow them in your garden, and hemp seed or cannabis seed, the seeds don't carry the excessive amounts of anything. They don't do anything to you, and I don't know that cannabis does anything to you anyway. I think that's mostly made up because I've been, you know, smoking it all my life, and it doesn't do anything to me. It makes my body work the way it should. I knew that when I was 13, man, the first time I smoked it. And you know what? Doesn't make you stupid, doesn't make you anything, any more than anything else. See, the devil didn't make me do it. I did it all by myself. I was pretty much hell on wheels till I was about 30. I met Joanne, and you know, I was not shy. So, you know, but I'm a nice guy too. I wasn't out raping white women or anything. Um, Mostly they were willing participants, like Pumpkin. I mean, pretty much all of them, right? That's like why you do that, right? You read because they're willing, and so are you. And that's, you know, it doesn't make you do anything now. You do. You make you do. And you know what? This allows our body to heal itself. You don't need pills and potions, things that are actually making us sick, right? Because they put radioactive bits on the medicine they sell us. And they put them on indigestible salts. A lot of those calcium salts that are directly attaching themselves to your bones and causing things like um, arthritis, right? Collects in these joints and tissues. And they also attract any passing radioactive bits that happen to be in our food from the environment or from the packaging and all of that stuff, right? Oil, petroleum oil, has little radioactive blips in it, whether you like it or not, you know. And it doesn't take a lot, right? It doesn't take hardly anything. And they're small. They're not like little rocks or something. They're molecules or atoms. But they're atoms that give off energy at the speed of light. Right? That's a lot of energy, man. It's a fission thing. Beta emissions don't go very far. They're electrons. But they don't have to go very far to do the damage. They sink into your bones because they're hot. They're giving off these damn electrons at the speed of light. And they're sinking, they're attracted like a magnet to the calcium in your bones, or the calcium in medicine they're feeding us. And so I stopped taking that stuff, and after 20 years in a wheelchair, I walked out to the car yesterday, drove around and walked back, sat down on my bed. My heart didn't pound. I didn't feel weak at the knees, nothing. I walked like a human being. Peace, y'all.